All right, thanks, guys. Normally, I will recap yesterday's Patreon activities, but it's a little bit different today. As you know, NBA was suspended yesterday, so no NBA, and I wouldn't be surprised if college basketball follows. Who knows? Maybe in a couple of weeks, we won't have any sports. Who knows? I know that's not particularly encouraging, but I certainly didn't think it would be appropriate, for me to come on here and then, tout my website and encourage you to, buy a membership from me on my website and then not be able to use it, in a couple days from now if, March Madness gets canceled or if other sports follow suit. So I'm not going to push my packages. I'm not going to push my website. But what I will tell you is this. What I do on YouTube here is I try to produce, the absolute best content that I can for you. I want to produce very good content for you. And I'm certainly not going to ask you to sign up for something that you're not going to be able to use. So I'm not going to push my Patreon. Although that's the lifeblood of what I do, there's no value to you if you can't use it. So I'm not going to push that on you today. But what I can say is, like I said, I strive to produce the best content possible for you. So if they cancel NBA, college basketball, MLB, NHL, if they cancel all of it, I'll do my best to find some kind of content, some kind of sport, something to cover for you, whether it's me shooting dice in my living room, playing heads up poker, with my brother. I'll find something to get the job done and continue to do my best to produce content for you. So I'm not really good at talking off script, as you can tell, but things will be okay. Hopefully this is temporary and we'll get back to normal life. I just can't believe that sports, the NBA is suspended, and that is wild to me. But once again, I'm not going to ask you to buy something from me that you're not going to be able to use, so don't worry about Patreon right now. We're just going to, continue to, do my best to produce content for you here on YouTube. But anyway, we did go 2-1 yesterday on Patreon. Link for that site's in the description section below. Let's go ahead and do our best to handicap these games here in college basketball, although by the end of the night, they might not even play them. Apparently, Nebraska, their entire team has been quarantined in a locker room or something. I don't know. But anyway, guys, we're going to start off with Michigan taking on Rutgers. 12 o'clock, alleged tip-off, Eastern Standard Time. My phone's blowing up. Michigan is -3, total at 135. Money's on the Wolverines and the over in this one. Michigan open as the 2-point favorite, up to -3. Total open 134.5, up to 135. 60% of the consensus are leaning toward Michigan, 52% shaded toward the over, and right now the Scarlet Knights are plus $1.30 on the money line. Now Rutgers really struggling away from home this year, just 2-10 straight up away from home. They're averaging just 69 points per contest. Michigan on the other side, 6-3 against the spread in their last 9. They're averaging 75 points per contest. They've also won their last 9 straight head-to-head matchups with Rutgers. They went 7-2 against the spread in those 9 games. Michigan 5-2 to the over in their last 7. I'm going to lean Michigan -3 in the over 135. Next game, St. John's taking on Creighton, 12 o'clock Eastern tip-off at Madison Square Garden in Manhattan. Creighton's -5, total 151. Money's on the Blue Jays and the under in this one. Creighton open as the 4-point favorite, up to -5. Total open 152, down to 151. Of course, Marcus Zagorowski, he's been out with a knee for Creighton. The Blue Jays, they struggle in offensive and defensive rebounding this year. Meanwhile, St. John's, basically a home game for them. Playing at MSG tonight. They're 14-6 straight up and against the spread at MSG this year. They're averaging 75 points per game, and they rank in the top 50 in the nation in offensive rebounding. Now, 4 out of St. John's last 6 did stay under the total. Meanwhile, Creighton, 60% to the under in their last 5. I'm going to lean toward the underdog in this one. Give me St. John +5 and the under 151. Next contest, Clemson, Florida State, 12:30 Eastern tip-off. The Seminoles are laying 7.5, total at 133. Money's on Florida State and the over in this one. Half a point move toward Florida State and a half a point move upward on the total. The Seminoles open 7 up to minus 7.5. Total open 132.5 up to 133. Right now the Tigers of Clemson are plus 280 on the money line. Clemson's averaging just 60 points per contest on the road. They're also shooting just 40% from the field in that same category. Florida State, winners of 8 out of their last 10. They went 60% against the spread away from home this year. They're also 67% against the spread, taking on teams allowing less than 67 points per contest. 5 out of Florida State's last 7 did get over the total. I'm going to lean Florida State minus 7.5 and the over 133 in that contest. Once again, guys, now is the time of the show where I normally take a quick time out and promote my Patreon channel. But like I said, if we have no sports a week from now, there's no use for it. So I'm not going to promote something that you're not going to be able to use. And, unfortunately, these organizations, they're taking proper measures, right? They're doing the right thing. I'm just frustrated that we're not going to have sports or anything to bet on, especially in the NBA. I'm really pissed off about that. But, hey, we got to protect ourselves, protect our families. So, anyway, frustrated, man. Really frustrated. But anyway, next matchup, it is going to be Texas Tech taking on the Longhorns, 12:30 Eastern tip-off. The Raiders are minus 5.5, total at 125. Money's on the Longhorns and the over in this one. The Raiders open as the 6-point favorite, down to minus 5.5. Total open 124.5, up to 125. The Longhorns are plus 210 on the money line. The Longhorns are also 7-4 against the spread as the official road team. They rank at the top 30 in points allowed on average per game, giving up just 63 points per contest. And the Longhorns are 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games that tipped off at the current number. Now the Raiders on the other side, they are 40% against the spread as the official road favorite. Losers of their last 4 straight. They're also just 3-7 straight up as the official road team. The Raiders struggle in offensive rebounding. Now 6 out of the Raiders' last 8 games did get over the number. The Longhorns are 5-2 to the over in their last 7 themselves. I'm going to lean Texas Longhorns plus 5.5 in the over 125. Next game, Minnesota taking on Iowa, 2:25 Eastern tip-off. The Hawkeyes are laying 1.5, total at 149. We're seeing money on Iowa and the under in this one. The Hawkeyes opened as the 1-point favorite, up to minus 1.5. Total open 149.5, down to 149. Minnesota's plus $1.10 on the money line. The Golden Gophers just 6-10 against the spread when catching the points. They're also 0-2 against the number, taking on Iowa this year. Hawkeyes on the other side, 67% against the spread when laying the points. They're also 5-1 against the number, taking on teams under 500. Iowa 2-0 to the under in their last 2 head-to-head meetings with the Golden Gophers. I'm going to lean Iowa minus 1.5 and the under 149. Next game, Oklahoma State taking on Kansas, 2:30 Eastern tip-off. The Jayhawks are laying 11 points, total 133.5. Right now the Cowboys are plus $5. Oklahoma State's giving up just 66 points per game. They're also holding their opponents to just 40% from the field. Cowboys have won their last 4 straight, and they're ranked in the top 25 in the nation in defensive field goal percentage on the road. Now, one more thing to add about the Cowboys here, they also rank in the top 20 in the country in road defensive 3-point percentage. Now, Kansas on the other side, they failed to cover the number in 2 out of their last 3. They're also one of the worst, not one of the worst, but amongst the lesser talented teams from the stripe. Kansas, they're shooting just 66% from the foul line. Now, 3 out of Kansas's last 5 did stay under the total. They're also a staggering 12-0 to the under as the official road team. I'm going to lean Oklahoma State plus 11 and the under 133.5 in that game. Next matchup, Butler, Providence, 2:30 tip-off. Butler's minus 1.5, total 129 and a hook. Money's on Butler and the under in this one. The Bulldogs open as the 1-point favorite, up to minus 1.5. Total open 130, down to 129 and a hook. Right now, Providence is plus $1.20 on the money line. Providence is also just 6-9 straight up away from home this year. They're shooting 41% from the field. Providence, they also failed to cover in 9 out of those 15 away games. Meanwhile, Butler on the other side, 13-6 against the spread after 4 or more days off. Very good against the number when well rested. They're also 3-0 against the spread in their last 3 games that tipped off at the current number. Winners of their last 3 straight games in the outright category. They rank in the top 15 in the country in points allowed, top 15 in defensive rebounding as well. 3 out of Butler's last 4 stayed under the number. They're also 60% to the under in their last 10. I'm going to lean Butler minus 1.5 in the under 129 and a hook in that contest. Next game,